Good day, it is Stephen Davids here, and in this video I will show how to set up the line and the holes for the fence. Now this video is applicable not only to Vibracrete fences. Vibracrete in South Africa is called, but it's also called panel fences in other countries, but I think it is generally applicable to other fences and not only to cement panel fences. Let us start with the things you need to mark the locations of the holes to dig. You need, of course, the location of the building pegs and the boundaries. The best place to find this very accurately is then, of course, your approved building plan. You also need to determine the fence sections as well as the lengths of the Vibracrete unit. The fence sections is a section on the fence, maybe between a gate. Then go start at section A, and then section there, the length section. Then there's another section B up to the corner, and then from that corner where it turns, that is a logical section. And then if you get D, it's a logical section to a corner, a drive, not a corner, sorry, a driveway entrance. And then another small logical section is section E up to the neighbor's boundary. I already worked out for another video how to get the materials. Where I wanted to determine the materials, I determined also the length of the sections and the total number of poles I must use, as well as the panel units. You then also have to determine the number of connecting points where these sections connect, because where sections connect and also unit have start and end with a corner pole, it means there are two corner poles that must get in one hole, and that hole maybe 1.5 of the size of an ordinary hole. There are two points where the sections connect, and that is where section B and C and section C and D connect, and it is indicated with the red stars. So those places must not get ordinary holes, but a hole maybe 1.5 size of the normal size hole. You determine the number of holes to dig. The number of holes to dig are basically the number of the poles that you ordered and that you determined already, where you based on the number of the panel units. As I said, if you want to know more about this, you must go and watch another video. And then also minus, you take all the total number of holes minus the two connecting points, and that gives you the total number of the holes you will have to dig. In this case, I need to dig 32 minus 2 connecting holes, 29 holes. Then you determine the pole unit lengths. You get ordinary units, and then also you get the corner poles. The ordinary pole units, the ordinary poles consist of two grooves, smaller, and then the corner poles are stronger, and that gives you then the panel units. Now, ordinary panel size, if you have on the left hand side of your screen the front view, consists of a panel and a pole, and that's 1.5 meter. I've got the top view. In my case, it's 1.5 meter. Maybe other places it varies. You might need to find out from the supplier. And in this case, the panel, there's a top view from the ordinary panel unit size, 1.5 meter, till where it reaches into the groove of the next post. Then you also get corner panels, and the corner panel size is slightly longer because it has it is bigger. It's about 2.5 centimeter longer than an ordinary panel. Now you will have to start and set out a straight and a level line. The tools you will need is rods or sticks. I indicated it here with broom straps. You need a string level, a building string. The level you use, of course, to get the level. And then an axe pick to make a hole, as well as painter's tape. You start off by hitting the anchors around 1 meter away from the corner pegs, and it must be parallel with the boundary pegs and run parallel to it. It must not be exactly on the line. It must be slightly, maybe 1 or 2 centimeters inside the boundary line, because in South Africa you cannot build on the boundary line, and if you do build outside it, they can let you break down the structure, and I assume maybe this applies to many other countries too. As I said, for safety's sake, run the line around 2 centimeters inside the peg. Maybe you can 1 centimeter, but it depends. It's basically dependent on your personal choice. And on the plan, the architect indicated clearly it must be inside the boundary line. Now the panel height is around 30 centimeter. It is not around, it is exactly centimeter. And because I wanted to bury the first panel 5 centimeter underground, therefore I will mark the height of the building line that I will first put there. I'll determine the height of about 25 centimeters above the ground level at the lowest point. And there it is. You determine the height at the lowest level, where you are going to be about 25 centimeters, and then you tighten that section very well. You then level it using a string level, and the other side then you slightly loose, because you will have to maybe adjust the post, not the post, the rod, or in this case maybe a broom or a stick you put in. The reason is you need to use your eye, or you can even tape it more accurately. If you see there's a level, you must now determine how do you, and you see the incline, you must now determine how do you want your fence. Do you want your fence leveled, or do you want to have your fence at an incline? And depending on what you want, you must then adjust the peg, and after you have adjusted it, you must tighten it very well. The process you follow is basically the same that follows now. You can, because there's a lot of traffic on the site, people will want to move around, and the workers must dig the holes, or someone has dig the holes. I did not get the auger here, so we will have to dig the holes, and so you can mark it then with painter's tape, just as an extra aid to see maybe the line didn't move, or did the line move. And then you go on, and in the same way as you marked now one section, you marked the other sections. Erect the rods, and then put up the line, level the line, and then of course you just continue, erect the rods, put up the line, and level the line. Everyone, please remember, it must be 1 or 2 centimeters inside the boundary. Where the lines cross, for example, in a busy section like you have now a driveway there, you bind off that rope uh, because of course you want to use your car and go at night or during the day into the garage. You simply just bind off that section. Now you have to transfer the line to the ground, and you can then just mark it maybe with sand or with the paint, with stones, etc. And after you marked the line on the ground itself, you simply then dig away the dirt. You do not need to dig away the dirt, a whole bunch of it. You just need a line for the panel to sit and lay on. And for that purpose, the easiest and best method to use is simply the flat side of an axe pick. Now you must measure where the holes must be dug. After having set up the lines and transfer it to the ground, you now decide where the levels, the holes come, and you just use a plank jig for spacing the holes. The plank jig, in our case, the panels is 150 centimeter long. The jig is around 7 centimeter longer than the panel to provide for the cut in the Vibracrete poles, so that makes it easy. You use a jig together with the use a jig to go fast, and then at some stage you can just pull out the measuring tape to make sure. You must remember when you work on the corners, always add 2.5 centimeter or, according to your circumstances, at the end of the jig plank for the corner holes that are bigger. You always measure from the usable side of the pole up to the panel. And in this case, if you look at an ordinary pole, the outside of the groove you do not use. You only take into consideration for the measuring purposes the inside curve plus a part of the middle stabilizing section, and the same applies to the corner poles. And this the top view from the corner pole is then since the corner pole only have one groove. At the corner pole you measure around from the end of the corner pole to the end of the panel, and that's 5.25 centimeter. Here I have the examples of the sections B and A, and also have the other sections that you can then take your time through. Freeze a panel and go through it. The sections A and B, if you take section A has 3 panels, and first panel is a corner panel 1.5 to 5, then the ordinary panel unit of 150, and the third panel unit is 1.52 because it's a corner panel unit. Then there are 4 poles. I indicated in red if it is a joint hole because the section joined there with another section, so therefore it is red, and that hole must come more or less 1.5 the size of a normal hole, and the other holes are then hole number 2 and hole number 3. And the distance between the holes I did put there. And then the 4th hole, it also ends on a corner pole. The corner pole is slightly bigger, and the architect advised me to make the hole size 50 centimeter by 50 centimeter. I do not know why so big. Is virtually the half of the one third basically of one pole and panel unit. I must check it whether it's very big, but it's a sandy area, but it's still, I don't know, I don't stay in the desert. Then you go to thereafter section B, you get the gate, and then you get section A. And section A, as I said, start with a corner unit and with 1.5. But in this case, the corner unit is 40.5 because the corner unit must be cut off. I prefer to put the corner unit in section C at the end so that it is away from the driveway gate. I inserted a driveway gate because the other part of my house won't be accessible, and this was what I've done in the meantime. And there you can see there are 10 holes in that section. You can take your time to go through the example in section C. As well as section D, as well as section E. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you very much.